Guess where we are right now?
Uzbekistan has been a surprise. We really didn't, well, I personally didn't expect what I found.
Tashkent is okay for half a day. Actually, I have to see to be a city in Asia is extremely clean and has a lot of parks, so a lot of green around the presidential buildings. So it's good to relax. For our overnight accommodation in Tashkent, we decided to stay at the Hotel Uzbekistan. Maybe not the best in town, but definitely an iconic example of Soviet architecture. This is the Asti Imam complex. This is the old part of Tashkent and actually what is survived after the earthquake of 1966. We're getting lost.
We're slightly lost. We are in Chorsu Bazaar, that is the biggest bazaar in Uzbekistan. We just exchanged some money and this is $100. It's a massive city, don't underestimate the distances and there's not really too much to see. Use it as a hub to then move around.
We are at the train station and in about an hour we're going to take the train to go to Samarkand. Well, Samarkand is well, obviously it's amazing. All the historical buildings are breathtaking.
So this is a mosque that has been built in honor of Timur's wife, Bibi. So in the legend it said that apparently when they were building the mosque, the architect actually fell in love with Bibi and he demanded a kiss.
We are in the middle of Samarkand in the Rajasthan Square, probably one of the most beautiful places in Asia, if not in the world.
So on this specific madrasa there is a very interesting characteristic, that is the actual representation of animals. So we have a tiger, we have a deer, and then we also have sun. Why is that impressive and different from the others? Is it because in the Islamic religion you do not tend to represent anything using symbols or anything? Been kind of like harassed by groups of locals that just want to take pictures with us, and then they wanted our Facebook account, Instagram, email address, anything.
This is Guri Amir Mausoleum, where we can find the tomb of Timur. It became the capital of the
Timur Empire. All the artists, all the architects, and the best scientists of the empire came here to build the city. And this is what we can see actually today. The best preserved buildings of Samarkand are actually dating from that age. The wall behind me apparently has been built by the Ministry of Tourism to separate the main tourist attraction from the poorest area, the residential area, just to make sure that tourists don't see what is inside.
Second bazaar in 2 days. We are in Samarkand. It was an interesting experience. It was quite clean. Everything was clearly divided within the actual market. But yeah, and the good thing is that they let you try most of the stuff. So you go around and it's like, oh, do you want to try this nut, or do you want to try this cake? And then you can kind of like taste a bit of everything. Chicken, grill, tutto, everything. Actually smell the bread, it's amazing, and I really like the fact that they use kind of like pushchair to take it around.
This is the Shah Zinda complex. It's actually an ancient cemetery. There's plenty of mausoleum and tombs. The colors are just amazing.
We're trying to go to Bukhara with Bukhara, but we're not entirely sure which one is the train. So we just arrived in Bukhara and we're now starting exploring the city. Bukhara is one of the cities that we like the most, and actually is one of the cities that had like a very important history, because throughout like the expansions of the Islamic Empire, it was one of the main cities together with Cordoba and also Baghdad. It's full of like monuments. It's a fantastic like center as well, town center, where everyone gathers in the evening. And we've been there for a day and a half. That is probably not enough to actually enjoy everything that it has to offer.
The Arka fortress is the old citadel of Bukhara and the residence of the emir. For centuries has been the main stronghold and a citadel with 3,000 people. Here we are now in the coronation hall, the place where the throne of the emir was and where public audiences were held.
We are in the Abdullah Khan Madrasa, and this is this is basically the only madrasa here that is not pointing towards the Mecca. This is Charminar, and this is the only building in the whole Uzbekistan with this kind of like structure. And some not really nice people tend to define it as an upturned chair.
Let me introduce the Great Game. The word Great Game indicates the spy game that happened in the 19th century between Russia and the British Empire. Back then, the British Empire was fearing that the Russia expansion in Asia, and particularly in Central Asia, would threaten his most important colonial domain, India. The entire region was like populated by spies. We are at the Zindan. This is the prison of Bukhara. Among others, here in the middle of the 19th century, 2 Englishmen were held and kept for almost 3 years. The 2 Englishmen were sent by the British to meet with the Emir of Bukhara to gather intelligence. He decided to kill the 2 Englishmen as spies. So we departed from Bukhara this morning and we are crossing the Kizilkum Desert. Our final destination is to see some fortress in the middle of it before going to Khiva tomorrow. So we're walking along the walls of the fortress. They are entirely made out of mud. Actually, the fortress of the citadel apparently was built and was living around the 2nd, the 3rd century.
Перед вами Топрак-Кала, некогда столица древнего Хорезма.
Toprak means mud, while Kala means castle. Where we are right now is the ancient palace of the king. Actually, it was interesting because the religion back then was the Zoroastrianism that effectively disappeared after Islam came in the region. Is very similar to the Mongolian Ger, but there are some differences in these wooden sticks, which are curved and much higher. The second big difference is that the central wooden structure is not sustained by the 2 big poles.
We're in Khiva right now, and this is our last stop. Khiva is probably the only city that has preserved its buildings and its flair as well. And so we are exploring it for today, and the city is waking up. And as you can see, there are people preparing their goods to be sold to the tourists.
We just bought a cumulative ticket for all the main attraction of Khiva. So as you can see, we have a to-do list of 16 monuments to see.
And go up at the top of the minaret.
I don't know how many madrasa we have seen. This is one of the many. Actually, madrasa were schools, and there were like madrasas, elementary school, primary school, secondary school, or college. Actually, it's said that there are so many madrasa in Khiva as many college in Cambridge or Oxford. This is not me. I read it on the guide. Definitely important in this region is the craftsmanship. We have seen artisans working on wooden, engraving metals, producing textile and beautiful Suzani, what they call here. Definitely something typical of the region since many centuries.
2 p.m. Khiva is the place to be.
There are at least 2 weddings with dance on the street.
We are the country where we have the best food. We ate so much.
Talking about food, it's definitely good kind of like cuisine. Everything is meat. Yeah, there's only the salad, but all the main courses, even the soups, and mainly they contain like meat. I'm going to make some dumplings.
We waited for almost 40 minutes, but I think that the last monument of Khiva, maybe we will not manage to get it. Unfortunately, that was the last one on our checklist.
Really feels like we are back in the past. Everything around you is like it's an amazing, impressive building, and it's beautiful. It's just beautiful.
No, it's an impressive town and it's really well preserved. The entire citadel is as it was back centuries ago, and that's remarkable. We just entered on the first madrasa that we found, and then we found the stairs and we climbed up on the roof, and now we are enjoying the sunset from the roof.